Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In my last video, I talked about a darn near perfect film in Black Christmas. A 9 out of 10 from me. Well, now we're going to step away from Christmas for a second. We're going to go to New Year's. In particular, we're going to go to New Year's Evil. From 1980, put out by Kino Lorber. Picked this up a few weeks ago during their winter sale. And this film is definitely not Black Christmas quality. I'll put it that way. But it's definitely one of those films I think you can enjoy, with, a bunch of friends, or maybe partaking in a little bit, New Year's enjoyment. I think you can enjoy this film. Now, it's one of those films that sometimes people would say it's so bad, it's good. Scenes that should be terrifying or scary might just come off with just a little bit more humorous than anything. Now, with this particular film, it definitely captures the this is 1980. So some of the things that they are doing in this film, and there will be some spoilers in this review. So be forewarned, there will be some spoilers if you haven't seen this film. But some things just capture what the 80s would be through. This is 1980, like I said. But we'd see these kind of things going on throughout the 80s with a lot of these, a lot of the tropes that we would be, come to know with particular films like this. It's definitely one of the lesser slashers, I'll put it that way. But this film basically follows our lead actress right here by the name of Blaze. She is a radio disc jockey. And also, she does like television too, almost like pre-MTV, almost, in a way. And she's hosting this telecast where they're going to be counting down the top songs of the year. But she starts getting these mysterious calls from this man who only, refers to himself as evil. And he uses like a voice synthesizer or changer so nobody can, figure out who he is. And he says that he's going to kill someone during when the time changes for every time zone throughout the country. He will commit a murder. Now, of course, you're thinking, how's this guy going to do this? Well, basically what he's doing is because on this telecast, they're counting down, she shoots to these different shots on, television, counting down all the different, time zones. She goes like Colorado to New York, California, all these different time zones, and she's counting all these things down. So this is how he's doing this. He's still in that one particular area, but he is just doing this according to what time would be in those other time zones. So it's kind of clever in that way that they were able to work their way around it, doing it in that particular fashion. But still, I would say some of the kills are pretty good. A little bit gory here and there. I wouldn't say it's over the top, but like I said, some of the kills are pretty effective. And basically for this gentleman, Evil, he is tied to this woman, Blaze. There is something, he knows her, and he is tied to her in one way or another that we'll find out later on in the film. And they pull no punches about who the killer is. You know who the killer is. The first time he makes that phone call, you see him on screen, and you're following the killer throughout. So there's no mask, no mystery about who this killer is, except for the fact that how he is tied to our particular lead actress. And that's kind of like where you have to go with this film. And you can try to, probably early on, and I didn't catch this, because I was just laughing my ass off with some of the things that were going on. I was like, what the? Just nuts with some of the things in the film. And I should have probably put it together sooner of who, how he was tied to her, because I had never seen this film before. But, like I said, there are spoilers. So, first you see this gentleman, he's going to commit this murder, and he goes into this sanitarium, basically. And he kills one of the nurses there. That's one time zone. Another one, he picks up this girl at this bar. And, he not just picks her up, but she's like, no, if you're going to take me out, we're going to go to this place. Supposedly, he said he knows Erik Estrada, from Chips. He knows that he's like his agent. And, he's going to take her to this party. She's like, no, my friend's going to come along. I just met you. I'm going to bring my friend along, too. So he winds up getting a double murder in that one, being able to kill both girls. And like I said, some of the kills are pretty effective in this film. And like I said, they pull no punches. And it's kind of weird, this guy carrying around this like boombox almost, so he can tape all these kills, so he can play them back when he makes his calls to Blaze. He can play, these girls when they're being murdered. And one of the time zones that he's about to kill this one girl, she's able to get, well, like I said, you should really check this one. You should check this one at least one time. It's definitely, you don't see too many New Year's films. We do have, you know, the original Terror Train, and that one, you know, is New Year's Eve based. So, but again, there's not too many New Year's Eve horror films. But this one, I think, is like I said, is pretty good. I mean, there's one of the kills right there, you can see. And we have a shot of the nurse right here. You know, who he's going to want taking out in the film. And, of course, with this, you know, not to get off track, but with the Kino release, we do have alternate artwork as well. So that's pretty cool. You can definitely reverse the artwork for that one. And actually, there's still, and on this, there's actually, we have audio commentary, and we have a behind-the-scenes featurette on the making of New Year's Evil, which is about like 35 minutes long. So that's pretty cool, too, that Kino put that on this release. And, you know, back to the film itself, though, you know, this gentleman, this killer, he definitely just does struggle with trying to commit some of these crimes throughout the film. You know, the police catch on to him sometimes. And like I said, we do know who he is throughout the film, at least, you know, his face. And of course, we do wind up coming to find out that he is Blaze's husband, who she believes is, you know, out of state. He's not around. And we do know that it is him. And his whole thing is he was somebody who was in a mental institution at one time. And he wants to get rid of her, essentially, because they have a son. And the son is definitely, he's going through a lot of things as well. Just like obviously, it didn't fall too far from the tree as far as between the father and the son, because the son is definitely a little out there as well. So the father wants to get rid of, you know, kind of in a way for his son's sake, he wants to get rid of Blaze, because Blaze does not really pay attention to the son. And this, you know, first off, when you first meet the son, he's, you know, he just got a job being an actor in this TV series, and she is just so busy with herself that she's not really paying attention to him telling her about that. So eventually, you know, I think that how the husband tries to kill her at the end is interesting. It's definitely something that I hadn't seen done in any previous films. So I think that was kind of unique to this film. But it definitely does leave off for a sequel. The husband, instead of the police arresting him, you know, he winds up just taking himself out. And the son because the son, like I said, he is disturbed as well, kind of picks up the mantle for his father in a way. So I, you know, definitely left off that, and of course we never did get it. As far as I know, there was never an official sequel to this film. But I say for what it is, it's not a terrible film. There are, like I said, there are some things that will leave me like, what the heck am I watching? You know, when she's on stage counting down the songs and everything, and you see people in the audience like just dancing, and they look like zombies. Like, I am not lying. If you've seen it, it's just like them like bouncing back and forth, they're bouncing into each other. It's not even like a mosh pit. It's just like, I wouldn't even call it a mosh pit. It's not dancing. I don't know what. It's just people. It almost reminds me like Dawn of the Dead. Like, the zombies just like walking around aimlessly. Like, that's how bad that part was. It was laugh out loud almost, just how ridiculous it was. But for this film, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this film, surprisingly, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Because I think there's enough there with the kills and with the goofiness that I think, like I said, with some friends, I think you can have some fun with this one. I do. It's not one of the better slashers out there. It's not even in a top 10 for slashers. Might not even be in a top 20 for slashers. But I think it's effective enough at what it does that you can have some fun. You know, like I said, I just watched it by myself without anybody, and I still found it, you know, enjoyable, at least to the point of a 5.5 out of 10. So I, you know, pick this one up from Kino Lorber. Next time there's a sale, go ahead. If it's still available, pick it up from Kino Lorber. I think for the price point, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this one, especially because you do get the making of, you do get the reversible artwork, and the audio commentary. So I think there's enough there, meat on the bones, to really enjoy this film for what it is, for the price. So, like, subscribe, and comment, give it a chance, and I will catch you in another episode, and Happy New Year's Evil, everyone. Catch you in another episode.